Hello. I put this video on here because there's been a lot of problems with the Chrysler and Dodge Grand Caravans. Mine's a 2008, and they made these vehicles for this type of body style for a while. You may have to check online to see exactly how many years out, back or forth. But the speedometer, the cluster, all your gauges, and your like engine notification, check engine light, everything will come on and blink and go off and come on. In my case, I lost control of my windshield wipers. They were on for 10 minutes while I was driving home. I couldn't stop them. Dry windshield wipers on, dry window. The other thing was no turn signals. It happened while I was driving. Comes on, goes off. And I'm like, what is going on? I did a lot of research on this, and I'm putting it on here because some folks were able to solve it, and it seemed like there's a lot of folks that were not able to come up with a positive resolution. So what I did is I checked with this area first. A lot of folks put on there that you can have broken wires in there, a broken wire or two. So you may want to check this area out. It's pretty simple. There are videos on there on how to take it apart. I had this part. I wish I did a video on it, but it may have been redundant because there are good videos on, much better than I may have been able to do on, showing you exactly how to take it apart. It's not that bad. This stuff comes off. I had this off too. What the problem is for me was not this area. Searched it extensively and came down to the sliding electric doors. You'll read online, some areas say in this B pillar the wiring's routed, and it routes along the lower part of the vehicle. Some places online will show you that this articulated track will move, and due to its movement and design, the wires can break. I think it's like $60 to $80 for a new wiring harness. I personally would solder them and heat seal them and save myself $70 or $80. Be a couple pennies, I think, to do that, if you know how to do that. There's videos on it. You can do it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't. This stuff is fun to do, and you can do it. So back over here, this is the problem, guys or gals. I hope this works for you. I would have intermittent door operation once in a great while, but I'd have the speedo going crazy way more. So I didn't realize it at first. I'm like, back door having anything to do with the speedo blinking up there. Well, guess what it does? There's data and or serial communication wires that carry communications between your onboard computers, like your BCM, your ECM. There are other ones, transmission control module. There's a couple more. What it is this connection here. I have the key out. There's a little key that keeps us together. It was seized together and rusted. Moisture had gotten into the plug, and on both sides of my vehicle they were bad. This door and the other side, turns out, weren't working properly. And when I took this one apart, it was very rusty or corroded. It was like a blue-greenish corrosion, definite evidence of moisture. So I took that apart, cleaned it. You can get a cleaner for it. In my case, both sides were bad. One side, the plug would not come apart. It was completely seized together, if you can believe that or not. But it was totally seized together, and I had to actually cut the plug out. I'm going to have to either get a new plug, or in the meantime, what I did is I did wire it back together, hardwired it back together myself without plugs. So if I ever want to take that harness apart, I will have to, disconnect my wire, actually cut it. The professional way to do it would be soldering. That'd be the longest preventative type maintenance you can do, professional. I have to say, butt connecting stuff is been very good for me in the past, but soldering is the best. When you take them apart, you can clean with an electrical cleaner, or you can I have used alcohol in the past. I used alcohol in these, very light amount to clean the terminals. It dries really fast. It's got a really good cleaning ability. and ultimately put it back together, and this one works fine. The other side, which was probably the biggest, the other door was probably the biggest problem. It was, like I said, seized together, cut it out, put it back together, wired it, hardwired it, and it does not cause any problems anymore. The dash doesn't blink, and I have no more problems with that. Hope this works for you. A lot of cases, it'll say data bus, no communication on the dash. I'm like, you will lose everything. You'll be able to drive it. I'm not saying it's going to be the same for everybody, but in my case, it was. So I really hope this works and helps you out. If if you get to the plug and it's not that, definitely check your wiring all the way back and forth. You may have to take the harness out. You may have to take that harness out. It's a possibility, definitely. I mean, look at it. It's an articulated track with wires in it that moves all the time. Wires are, a lot of times, in this case, copper, and really good for conducting electricity. But if you bend them and bend them and bend them, I think that you're going to have some issues. Not to mention that there could be, if you look in here, see there's dirt and grime, and moisture does get in there, I suspect. The plugs on these doors, the bad electrical connectors on both sides, they don't have O-rings on them that go around the plug. It doesn't seem to be like a MetroPack weather seal, so I don't know if somebody had the van before me was in there and took them out or what the deal was, but hope this works, and God bless. Have a good one.